So I'm Julius here. This is my channel, taking you through the basics of AutoCAD. So AutoCAD, as you can see, it's a CAD computer-aided design that helps us to make designs and draw drawings, which would be very difficult to draw using hands. So I'm going to start by, when you open up an AutoCAD, what do you start with? So I would start by typing the word DIN mode. Select it, and if mine is selected, already selected 3, but if not, if yours is not, write 3 and then enter. What this helps us to do is that you can now write anywhere in space instead of going back to the command. So with that done, we can also set our units. Select them to millimeters. Decimal, remain decimal. The precision can be 0, and let them be international. So you press OK. The scale, let it be 1:1. Okay, so let's first discuss about layers. In AutoCAD, layers are very important. How do they help us? Layers are, I call them papers which are laid over each other, each paper having a different drawing or different dimension or different text. Meaning, when they are all laid together, they provide a full drawing. But if I want to move a layer, or if I want to move a drawing on one layer, I can simply just remove it. So AutoCAD as it is always open by default with a layer 0. Always there. It's just, even if you just open it, you know nothing about layers, you can just draw a line. And it will be seen because of the layer 0. That's how good it is. So how do we open up the layers? So we go on layer properties. How do we add layers? We click on this this thing shows the layers. They're like papers, as you see, with the star which is yellow. Click on it, add a layer. Let's call it construction line layer. So you can give it a color of magenta. It's continuous. Let's give it a weight. These are called line weights of 0.05. Add another layer. Let's call it the visible line. And give this a color of green. Okay, and it's continuous also, and give it a thicker weight of 1.06. Then we can add another layer. We can call this hidden lines. You can give this a color of maybe light yellow, closer to yellow, and then a weight of default, and then just to be, this one has to be dashed, so it's not here. So we load dashed, then click on it, and then click OK. So now it's dashed. So this is our layer setup. So if I want to set the layer, I simply come here, select this arrow, and select the layer I want to use. And to test out the layer, I simply draw a line. So with that, that's my layer. It is the color I wanted it. So how do I use these layers to guide me? So for instance, if I was to draw a circle, and I also drew a rectangle. So how do I do a rectangle? Let's say I want it 3 meters by this is small, it's not practical even by units. So let's change this to radius. Say I draw a circle of yes, now it's bigger. So now let's say I draw a circle of 30. So now it's very small now. How do I see it? Press zoom. extents. So now here, I draw a rectangle of, let's say, 40 millimeters, tab 30 millimeters. So you press tab to get the width. And then I also draw another circle, let's say from here, of 20 millimeters. If I want to change the layers of all these shapes, what do? I simply select on the shape and then select the layer I want to. Let's say this is hidden. Let's say the small circle is a visible line. So how do I use the layers? I would use the layers here. If I want to move these two circles, copy them, but without this layer, what I'll do, I'll freeze this layer so that I can move the two. What I mean is that the first step, you have to ensure that the layer you want to freeze is not active. For instance, if I wanted to freeze the construction line layer, I can't because it's the inactive layer. So if I want to freeze the hidden layer, it's not active, what I do, simply select it and then freeze it. Escape. So, and then I can select this, copy, and then I can move them. If I want to unfreeze the layer, simply go here and then unfreeze. So now the layer is here. I see the layer is here. It's back. So what this tells me that layers can help me do a lot of things. They can help me freeze what I want to freeze, move what I want to move. Meaning even they can help me select objects. For example, if I want to select the circles of the same layer, I can select this circle and then right click and select similar. It only select the circle of the same layer. The same thing can be done for the visible. I say right click and then select similar. Only select the circle of the same layer, meaning they can very helpful when selecting, when moving, and when copying. So that's it with layers. So we can move on to down here at some of the accessories they have. We have the grids. So this is the grid mode. So now right now it's on. If I want it off, I can just press this. Then the grid lines are off. I like the ambience when they are on. So let me just put them back. These now are the snaps for the grids. Very dangerous. So if I put them and realize that they simply just start snapping where the grids are for no reason. So they're very dangerous. So I prefer them off. The author mode, this one helps me when I'm copying. For instance, if I want to copy this and I want it copied at 90, see, perpendicular always doesn't give you any other angle. Very nice, straightforward. It can also help me draw when I'm drawing angles of 90. You see, doesn't argue except when the snaps disagree. But it works. So with that, I can now use the author mode. So that I can't use the author mode. This one's called polar tracking. If I want to use author mode, I can't use polar tracking. Yes. So what does polar tracking? Polar tracking for it consists of other angles except 90. Consists of, so it has intervals 5s, 20s, 15s. So if I select 5s, what happens? If I'm trying to draw a line, these lines will be in intervals of 5s. 5s, 5s, 5s. If I try to select 30, this line will be in intervals of 10, 60, 70, 80, 90. I prefer it in 15. No major reason, just like the 30s. 10s, 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 15, 10s. That's the author mode. So we have the isometric. So this one will be in 3D for now. So we have the snaps. So the snaps are very important. Why is that? These endpoints are the minifiers to draw a line. Snaps for the endpoints are these ones. They're always square. Are you seeing them? Always square. And then the snaps for the midpoint, they're always in the middle. And they're always triangular, as we can see. If I wanted to draw a circle touching two centers of lines, what would I do? Since I have the lines and my center is, my midpoint snap is on, I'll just select the center and then the center. So the circle will just sit there. So now imagine the same situation with my midi points off, and I select the circle. I do realize that I can do the same trick. So they are very, very important because they help us do that. In the center snap, this one. So the circle, I want to draw a line in the circle. Center snap guides me always. Imagine if it was off, disaster, face, you don't know the side of the circle. That's very, very wrong in always. So geometric snap, center, this one is for polygons or even squares. For example, if I draw a polygon of 5 sides, pentagon, specify the center, then draw it. If you want to know the center, draw a line from the center, it's here. As you see, the center of geometric center, it's like a star. If you see very closely, it is a star. But the one for the circle, it is a plus. So they differ. The midpoint is a rectangle. The midpoint is a triangle. Endpoint is a square. Then there's the for the intersection. So for the intersection, let's say I intersect two lines, and I want to draw a line from these two lines. The intersection is a cross. Now it's like a cross, like the way it is, intersection cross. And then the quadrants on the circle. So they are, for them, they are like inverted squares. Well, you can call them kites. I think they are kites. Or the shape is like a square that is now on its diagonals. Here. Very, very important are they, because without them you can't draw effectively. So let's say I want to use other snaps, because when I set up mine as they are here, because very important. Let's say, for instance, I wanted a tangent. I wanted a snap for a tangent line. Then I would set it. Then I will draw. But then I say I want to move this circle by this line to the tangent. I think that the tangent snap is guiding me where the circle should sit. So the tangent snap has enabled me to put this circle, this line on the tangent to the circle. So if it wasn't on, I wanted to do the same trick. So now it's taking me to the center. They're very, very important. Then another important snap is the nodes. Let me show you how to use the nodes. So if I draw a line and I want to divide this line into 4 portions, divide, press the D and then divide. Then I select the object and then I say number of segments, let's say 4. So they are there, but very, very small. So how would I locate them? So I'll simply go here and snap my nodes on. So if I want to draw a line, I start from the endpoint and I want to draw this line, copy it at least on all the nodes. Since the nodes are on, they will snap to the nodes. At least I think we have seen that. So now the portions are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So because the nodes are on, I was able to do that little trick. Now let's do the same thing with the nodes off. Then see how possible it will be. So now I want to move that same line with no nodes. They've just only made the center, then the end. So that's why always choose them when you really need them. But I usually use the node when I'm dividing, so if I don't using it, I won't use it. So guys, thank you. So that's it. Simple intro about layers, snaps, and other objects.